It's time to ask some more questions and answer a few through our Nomies. This is my brain trust of sorts. You can become a registered Nomie right now at nomies.com, participate in our private chat, or join us in Mumble. We've been watching the comments and questions you guys have been posting during this live YouTube broadcast, and now Brian said that he had recorded a few, and if anybody has any further questions, this is be the time to ask them and possibly get them answered. So, Brian?
Okay, one real quick, I'm going to go and pull off of YouTube straight. Is Siri really worth it when it comes to buying the 4S iPhone?
Siri.
I have to say the biggest use I have for Siri is setting alarms. It is so nice when you're going to bed just to say, wake me up at 8 a.m. and it's done.
I've not used Siri as much as I thought I would have.
I have to agree, I haven't either. Although it is nice to have a voice program that understands the Scottish accent.
I've actually used Siri quite a lot, mostly for setting my appointments, responding to text messages on the go, and as well as the alarms. It's really good. I mean, even for small tasks such as like asking what the weather is outside for a specific temperature.
I just use it for small things like alarm clocks, weather, texting people. Not so much finding information, but small things like that.
Yeah,
Are we actually live right now?
Yes, we're actually live.
I find it useful when I travel. I walk through a lot of airports. And with the earphones in, I can basically, text.
It's kind of breaking up there. I don't know if that's my connection or his.
Sure you're using what those messages say. I find it very...
You're kind of breaking up there. I don't know if it's my internet connection or yours, or if it's a push-to-talk issue.
It's not just you, Chris.
Hey, Diana, do you use Siri that much?
Not really.
She doesn't use it that much. It's kind of a mixed bag, really, with Siri.
Siri just needs to be more integrated. That's the problem.
Just needs to be more integrated. I would agree. So, go ahead.
The thing I'm waiting for them to actually push is basically allowing you to use Siri to actually find businesses. Because you can't yet do that over here. I'm not sure if you can do that in the States, but I can't say, Siri, I feel like a pizza, and then it basically tell me the nearest pizza joints from where I am.
All right. What's the next question we have from YouTube?
Someone asked about Shockwave crashing in Google Chrome. Not only, I believe there's both a YouTube video and a Locker Room article on that, on how to, quote-unquote, kill the second flash that you may or may not be aware of that you have installed.
Yeah, we definitely did that before, and it's helped. That article, we've gotten a lot of comments. Essentially, what the problem is, if you've installed Flash on your own, on your system, and you have Google Chrome installed, what you may not realize is that Google Chrome comes with Flash bundled, and that's smart, because then you're always up to date. So you don't need to have two versions of Flash running within Google Chrome. You can disable one of them and I believe the command is about:plugins in the Omni bar in Google Chrome, and then you could disable one of the Flash plugins that you see in that section.
There was also an interesting question I pulled for monitors. How many for what type of person? For average, I would say one is fine. If you're going to be using a computer for multiple hours a day, especially if you do stuff like Excel or where you want to pop between them easily, I would say go with 2 monitors. Also, if you're a geek, I would never use 3 monitors unless you're one of 2 things: either a gamer and you want to use something like I believe it's called Eyefinity, or if you're naturally a business person, you do stocks. I know a lot of them use 3 monitors just to have a static page up.
Do we have any business professionals either in IRC chat or possibly on Mumble that could speak to multiple monitors?
I know as a web designer, graphic designer, having 2 is really useful.
I could not live without less than 2 30-inch monitors on my primary desktop.
Yeah, I'd have to say the same, particularly with Excel and statistics. If you're doing Excel and you need to put together a PowerPoint presentation based off those numbers, it's definitely, I can't work that without two screens.
Multiple monitors is definitely useful, especially on a daily basis, where I can have be working in a browser on one and have Outlook open on the other, and always see whether I have an email computer or not.
He just said it was useful, although you were a little quiet there. I'm not sure who was just speaking up. Was that Yamazaru Ninja?
No, that was me, Chris.
Oh.
That was Phil.
Oh, sorry. It's hard to hear sometimes. I can't see names right now because I've zoomed in on IRC. So, if there's anything else to say about monitors, cool. If not, next question.
Is paying for Word worth it? And I would have to say, there are a few use cases where, you probably want to, but the vast majority of people do not need it. There's things like OpenOffice, LibreOffice, Google Docs. The list goes on and on. In fact, Microsoft themselves have a free version web-based of everything except for Outlook, I believe, on SkyDrive that you can use. And it's not as full-featured as Word, but I seriously doubt you're going to find a feature that you need that's not in there. I mean, it's purely the basics.
So, go ahead, Matt.
Oh, and you can also find a short list of great Word alternatives on the Locker Gnome article, 28 apps for your Windows professional life.
Any true... Oh, go ahead.
Although I do use Publisher, I haven't found an alternative for that yet.
Oh, for Publisher? Would Inkscape work? Oh, I guess that's really more of a vector drawing tool.
Or even Photoshop or GIMP.
Yeah, but for Publisher, I know there's an open source utility for it, but the name escapes me at the moment. I don't know if anybody in YouTube knows. That was it. That's it. Scribus. That was it. That's it. What Kevin just said.
Yeah, Publisher really isn't image editing. It's more of like a print media production software.
Scribus isn't perfect. I think it still relies on X11 libraries, but it's open source. It doesn't cost you anything. All right, next question.
RIM and where are they headed? I kind of paraphrase this one, and I gotta say, does anyone think RIM is going to last within 2 years if they keep on going how they are? They keep on producing almost the exact same mobile handsets with form factor. They do not update their OS. I know they try to be over Fort Knox for businesses, but the iPhone is used with militaries, people, and their lives depend on this. I seriously doubt RIM has anything to say, you can't beat us.
In my eyes, RIM is dead.
Mine too, and actually you stole the question that I had found on the YouTube live stream. I believe that, it's a downward trend for them. They don't seem to be innovating, and it's not coming from me, this. There's been a few stories in the UK press from employees of RIM or indeed BlackBerry who are saying that they're not innovating, and they have tried to say, look, you're not innovating, do something about it, and they've gone, no. But in the UK, there are still a lot of people who are using BlackBerry primarily for BlackBerry Messenger or BBM. However, I've got some friends that had BlackBerry who are moving over to iPhone because of iMessage. There are others who are going to Android, so I think it's safe to say that either BlackBerry or RIM need to get ahead or stay with the curve, or they're going to die.
Interesting you said that.
Sorry, go ahead.
Interesting you said that. I know a couple of people on BlackBerry Messenger who actually aren't using BBM. They're actually using a third-party app because they've said that BlackBerry is, for whatever reason, not working for them or is quote-unquote crap and they don't like the way it operates.
At this point, it appears to me that they're just surviving on income from their patent portfolio.
It's probably an easier question to ask, who thinks RIM is going to survive? And if so, how? Because who would acquire them, other than an unknown company coming out of nowhere? It ain't going to be Google. It ain't going to be, it certainly ain't going to be HP. And I doubt Apple really wants anything to do with RIM.
It wouldn't be Microsoft, I'll tell you that.
It won't be Microsoft?
I think RIM's just kind of going the way of Palm.
I think RIM will survive. And I know that sounds a little strange, but just think about all of the old professionals that love their BlackBerries and don't want to try anything else. I think it will survive. Yes, downward trend, but I don't think it's just going to go away overnight.
So, sounds like we've beaten them to death, although it seems like they've beaten themselves to death. Any other questions here? I mean, we're giving everybody a chance, if you're watching YouTube, to ask questions, get them answered all in one, not just my answers, but answers from the registered Nomies. You could join this chat right now during this broadcast by becoming a registered Nomie at nomies.com. You can join by way of voice or by text. Any other questions?
What do you do? Go ahead.
Hey, Chris, I got a comment on one of the articles, the one about not screwing up your PC. Those tools are great, but I would really stay away from registry editors.
You know, I was almost... I turned into flame bait when I talked about registry editing and tweaking the registry. I was under attack because I said don't mess with it. Or be very careful. Not to say that a lot of those optimization tools can do bad things, but you know, you don't want to mess with the registry, especially if you don't know what's going on with it.
Hey, what? Go ahead. What do you do if you know someone that's like hooked on XP and will not move on at all?
Ooh, you mean like my dad?
Yeah.
You buy him a new. Feel sorry. Buy him a new computer. I guess really is the only chance.
I actually have to say there is a way to give them XP, but yet keep them happy. Just make sure that the computer is as secure as XP can in today's standards, because generally speaking, honestly, they don't have a reason to switch to Windows 7. If someone is happy with their computer, I think it's better to make sure that they are going to be securely happy, rather than pushing them to a new system that, if they don't know what they're doing, they are more apt to make mistakes, genuine mistakes, and get hurt in the process.
What about pushing XP into a virtual machine on Windows 7 so that you can bridge the gap?
I mean, okay, Microsoft does have their Windows XP mode. It's sort of quirky, but I mean, 9 times out of 10, regardless, people will not switch from Windows XP to Windows 7. Case in point, Steve Gibson. He stays on Windows X, or he has on Windows XP because it does everything he needs.
Yeah, what do you think Microsoft's going to do about it? Because if Microsoft they stop supporting XP, do you think people are going to, you know what I mean?
No, I think Fort, who is one of the moderators in the chat room at live.perlo.com, still proudly runs Windows 98.
Let's just pray they don't get on Vista.
Well, that's a different problem altogether, I'd say. You know, I don't know. Microsoft, has been trying to kill off XP. It will happen, but it's going to happen slower than I think they would have wanted it to.
Well, that's just it. XP is still being supported by Microsoft, and until that day comes, unfortunately, I don't believe it'll force people to have to make that decision.
All right. I think we're going to go ahead and wrap up this particular segment, but if you guys have any further questions for Nomies tomorrow, feel free to ask them in the comment thread for this video. If you would like to answer the questions in the next, broadcast of this particular chat session, you can feel free to become a Nomie. Again, nomies.com. We're building a new part of the community and really doing our best to involve you with everything that I've been doing and the rest of the Locker Gnome team has been doing. So if anything, we're making it better for everybody.